Okay, so this chapter, like, we pretty much open it up for open mic, huh? The do you want a topic actually that she just discussed about like certain a divorce, huh? Told you she do dollar na. Okay. To suffer, to she suffer. It's okay, she do nữ trong and what can we talk about?
Oh, sure.
Chỉ cho a more it's okay, she do chỉ cho more it's okay, she do and anything around that, even to advices to cho law yo sai it's okay do or chỉ sai na. So open to anything.
Okay.
And we can ask each other questions too. So
sure.
it's just an open
Yeah.
topic discussion.
For cuộc họp偏见呢，可能mình chỉ tao dạy khó chỉ tất chỉ giờ cuộc họp偏见ha chú ta after 新照了，after 新照了，nó để cuộc sáng của cô even tại ta có giờ tụi chỉ sáng照nữa cả, lại là giờ ta mấy lúc này mấy tuần照了那样，nó để là bộ tăng khó session ta thay biết thằng, vấn đề ở cô, giờ thằng mấy tuần 新照了，nó để nhà tôi mua nhà lúc này là để chỉ cho sĩ khí. Các bố tụi tao mua có bù rong tụi có giờ rong là có chỉ cho jealous, có chỉ cho khí, các bố tụi tao lúc này rong là có sao một khí nữa là, có sáng có lúc này rong thì có mà trâu sát ô, mấy anh liền chỉ帮操cho mình nhiều, chỉ tao có chỉ mua họ khí nữa, có chỉ mua họ khí nữa để lâu họ để maybe có end up có chỉ sử dụng được cái lúc này. Thầu có một họ khí nữa là để có chỉ mua sử dụng cho cái lúc này thì cái lúc này hay là bông cán thì có hay là khí này cho cái end up thì có chỉ mua một chậu to hết luôn thì cái gì chụp lâu ha, ok thì nếu trong là họ thầu từ tại mấy anh mấy chỉ sử dụng lại nó là nhà có lúc này trong là chẳng là càng lại của lúc này trong là chẳng là càng lại có một cái ít tuổi cái ít tuổi anh là ship băng rồi cho mình nhiều họ sư có ta có hay bé si bao lưỡi mỗi cho mình nhiều kế sư khả năng sẽ là giờ khả năng chỉ trong chú kế si to ha chú kế mua tên mình ở chỗ chỉ bao ở chỗ lúc này thì giờ tốt chú kế cứ thầuอยู่khí sư rồi khí bố sư vì đó họ cũng chỉ tao bù cho cứ xin rau lại mà ở phe cho tụi tao lúc này trong là nè cú bù từ cái mỏ phe cho tụi tao mất bị sự tại giờ là chỉ xin rau lại có有cái tụi có cái tụi lại liền nuôi ít tụi chỉ một trò cái mỏ phe cho ít tụi này mà tụi họ mà giờ tụi lúc này chỉ trong sao tụi lúc này bông căng rồi because bây giờ thọ tụi nhà xin rau thì tụi một họ mindset là ta cú có phe cho nữa này vậy thì nên tụi chỉ trâu sát khử nữa lúc này là nè nên sẽ là nhau tất cả nên sẽ là một phe cho tụi tao thì tụi bù thì giờ tốt cho là họ sẽ giờ mấy cho audience tất cả đấy mấy sáng tầm trong sảnh cả hạp chỉ họ lại nó là mấy cho cái một sáng giống mấy cái phong yêu mấy cái tuần hành sinh ra mấy bao bây giờ trong này cũng hà nó giờ ở tụi anh là chỉ xin trao lại lên thì lúc này trong ra tụi họ bỏ một phe cho tụi lúc này chỉ trong như chỉ mua lại nè giờ tụi cứ lúc này chỉ trong họ một phe cho tụi lúc này trong xứ đó thì theo như mindset vấn đề là giờ chỉ cho sát khử lúc này thì cũng khó phiền nhẫn thì cũng ta giờ thọ after xin trao lại thì chỉ cho khí gì lại có hai cúi chỉ cộng lúc này là cho khí gì lại có nung nó cúi bù cái cho cầu tôi lần cầu là của cho khí nó bù cái cho cầu tôi lần trao là của cho khí đó. Okay.
So I love what you said. Here's the reality, in my opinion, though. You speak very logical. Cái hay yo. It's really, really good. But the tiana, there's a lot of pain. There's a lot of jealousy, like you said. That is all wrapped in that. So yeah, if when you're trying to explain that to a couple, right, that are separating, to say, hey, be logical, be good, you know. What I've seen, and this is the reason why, to answer your question, why we have so much problems after and during, is because that conflict it's a lot. And so even though I agree with everything you said, I really do. It's so logical. Hey, move on with your life. That's what you're saying. But the reality is there's too much pain. There's too much stuff. And most people they're not built to go through that stuff. And what I've seen, because as someone who's gone through what I've seen, men suffer worse than women when it comes to this stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't mean that women don't. It's just that the level is different. And I've been to these groups, and I've seen it and had to witness, it's hard for most guys to overcome these things. Yeah. And so I always try to explain and teach guys, like a lot of the things you said, it's your mindset.
Oh yeah.
It's how you view yourself, how you love yourself, and then how do you take care of yourself.
Exactly, yeah.
All of those things are so important. I wish it was as easy as you're saying it though, because it's not, And so people have built these habits. People have gone through this trauma. That's a lot, And man, the way you said it, and the way that's why I love Hmong language. It's really eloquently said, Munya,
Yeah.
But the thing is, the reality is, it doesn't work that way most of the time.
Okay, how you can escape from that? Okay, how you can escape from jealousy other people that your partner that you after divorce? Okay, how you escape from that? Because ก็จะทำ blame ตอนเช้าจนเนี่ย look back at you what you did to her, what you did to him. First, ก็จะทำ blame ตอนเช้า when เขาก็ blame ตอนเช้าจนเนี่ยแต่ก็ cannot let things go. So you have to accept what you let things go. What happened, just let it happen. Just go move forward. เขาอยากแต่เขาก็จึงโมขอแต่ okay, I don't want to let it go. นั่นแต่ because ก็จะ accept ก็จะ admit ก็ขอก็สูงนะ because ก็เพิ่ง blame แต่กูมา right 100% นี่สูงซื้อก็จะเลยก็ขอ go นะ and why นั่นนะขอกูแต่ why อย่าวิเลยจังก็เพิ่งสาหัสแต่อย่า why อย่าวิเลยจังก็เพิ่งสาหัสแต่ก็อย่าตัวยอซื้อมาถ้าไม่ชี้ยอไม่อะไรอย่าชี้ยออย่าไม่อะไรอย่าลุยเอาเกยอย่ามาไม่ยังสาตัวอย่าไม่อะไรยังสาหัสแต่อย่าลุเอาลุนี่อย่าจิตเอาอย่าหัตเนื้อหัตนี่อยู่ก็ลุ torture think about that ไอ้ยาวิเลยจังหรือนู่นไอ้ถ้าไม่หมดแต่แม่เลยก็เพียง blame จนเนื้อหัตเนื้อหัตสูก็จะอย่าตัวยอใส่ก็จิ let it go อ่ะแต่หรือนู่นก็จะข้ามหัวเพจจนเนื้อไอ้ก็จะเลยจิ let it go ไอ้ก็จะจิตเอาชักคือก็ลุนี่นะdon't blame everything for the other party blame yourself too blame ก็ self แต่ okay แต่ฉันเนี่ย60% แล้วกูยัง40%ให้นายกูขอให้กูสูงนะอย่า if I don't do this แต่ฉันอุตส่าห์จะเต็มเหม่งเนาะอย่าคิดจะจองแล้วแต่ว่าอย่างอยู่ชี้อยู่นะมา okay we communicate the same thing as when we just got married for 3 days first 3 days นะมาso we don't end up like this นะมาso this you can let it go.
I get it, and you say it sounds really good. Not wrong. I agree with you. I was just saying the execution is very, very hard for a lot of people. And so one of the things that I always try to say and teach guys is, and this is hard for guys to swallow, is this concept of it's always your fault, no matter what. And now you're going to say, what? But what if I didn't do anything wrong? How is it my fault? I'll explain to you why it's always your fault.
Exactly, yep.
As a man, it's your job to be the leader, to be navigating and trying to lead the situation. So I've met so many people, and I've dated many types of women, and I've had them explain their stories to me, and that's why I know this. I can say this definitively. Like, guys have to admit it's your fault, no matter what happens. And the reason why is because it's your fault for not vetting properly, for not, choosing the right person, if that's what it was. It's your fault for not figuring out where you went wrong in the relationship, because there could have been things that slipped. It's your fault for not, catching things before they got too bad.
Yeah.
It's your fault, for not, navigating in a way where maybe you didn't communicate correctly. So I always bring it back to the guys, and I get it. Sometimes it's not even your fault. You didn't do anything wrong. You really didn't, but you didn't avoid those things too, right? So that's what I always try to say.
Yeah.
And so, but for guys who've gone through this, since we're on that topic, I always tell them, you got to learn from it, and you heal through action. You don't heal through just kind of, and this is why guys, they go into these men's groups and they just, talk to each other and just cry, and it's weird. Nothing happens. Nothing good. There's no action. And so I always try to tell people, the best solution is to get back out there and actually do things. And when I say love yourself, I mean you're doing things to build and become.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's really the kind of what I kind of teach, so that it's not just logic, because we can all speak logical and say, hey, you know what, it probably makes sense not to do that, but there's something deeper that we have to get to. There's a few more layers inside that is the problem, and that's what I always see all the time with guys. And I know I can see it when guys are complaining all the time about, oh, she was so bad to me. How dare she? All this stuff, and it's like, yeah, but why are you complaining about it? It's like you're still in that place.
Oh, yeah.
That's how I know people haven't healed, because they're always talking about this person did this person did that, instead of, okay, well, it happened, but I'm doing this now.
Yeah.
I'm becoming better. And it's all over social media. I can see people, they don't even know that they're exposing themselves by how they show up and how they write, how they do things. So again, if you don't know that if you've healed, know based on how you're communicating out to the world, to yourself, what you're saying out loud. That's how we know where you're at. And if you need help, that's why we're here.
And one advice to those people that when after divorce and you hang out with your friends, a relative or whoever, doesn't matter man or woman, okay? Cú nó thì cú chi chẳng sáng của cô cho thằng lúc sau cứ có after divorce ya có hang out rồi có cho cousin có cho friend thế mẹ thằng cho tới mình nó. Because mỗi cho nó thì they'll give you good advice. Other people will give you bad advice, so you will become bad.
So true.
The solution that you're gonna get off from this thing, you will let the problem go. Thì có nhà tại thầu có mua cho tới mình rồi nó after họ lại nó thì maybe it's time to mua ít kho của cô ít kho habit của nhà nè, có một busy cho kho habit đó là có chỉ so tính có khó tới mình nó đơn đau có chỉ so tính chú có khó mindset đơn đau hay là quý ở page cho nơi của nơi everything nhà nơi tới mình nó vậy có sẽ là wise tao khoản nó nhà tại có chiều là họ nó thì có nhỏ nó thì nhỏ bên nó có một chút tao thằng thì mới cho tôi này thì bây giờ hai rong nó có thì chỉ mới cho tôi này tại cho tới mình nó biết sao mà có nhà tôi giờ xứ liền because bọn trai tu sao bọn này có giờ xứ này mà you wrong 100% àกูอยากก็มากูไม่ได้ใจกูอยากก็มากูว่าnóแค่ตัวnày they give you wrong advice okay so a lot of people they do that.
You're right. I can't agree with you more. There's so much bad advice out there, which is why it's hard to see the good advice.
Yeah.
And because the good advice is rooted in actually like it's hard work.
Yeah,
sometimes, you know,
exactly.
most of the time it takes effort.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do effort.
Exactly.
And this is why it's so sad to me, because I see people and, you know, they go to the friends that are just saying, it's okay, you know, or they're saying this, that,
yeah, exactly.
you know, and I'm like, I'm giving the hard advice, the one that, you know, a lot of my stuff it's hard for people to swallow because I'm being honest about it.
Oh, yeah.
But this is based on research, anecdotal evidence, like life experience.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's hard for people to accept. It takes being able to look in the mirror to see a lot of these things that we're talking about.
yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up. You know,
yeah.
There's so much bad advice out there.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
I can speak from my experience because I just recently got divorced. I'm sure people blast me enough already. But Guma, besides all the bullshit you see online, I don't let that phase me because right? So on top of that, finance wise, right? Finance law. Yep. So now of course now I'm doing everything you so my mental battles and everything that could struggle with it kills you because you're always constantly thinking always you're constantly in your mind, you're constantly thinking about it, especially me getting shit on social media by everyone, all that bullshit too. And I'm just constantly thinking all the time that sometimes oh shit, it's time to go pick up my son, right? And so the one thing that really helped me was I started going back to training. I'm train, right? My guys over there, they're always helpful. When someone's trying to kill you, you don't think about your fucking problems.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that really helped me. Seeing my friends that I haven't seen for so long, like Bruce, seeing you down Blong, going back to see NV too, all that really helps because you come back to see and some of them actually reach out to me too.
Oh yeah.
Like with the best friend, I reach out back to Ku, and when I was getting blasted, so many people reached out to me too. So that really did help. And or you bought there, okay, you ain't morning lulu you
Oh yeah.
Just start to hard there. You way or page or you do king or you page or
exactly.
So it really did help a lot. And the biggest one that helped a lot was my mom because of course, you're the only one that you'll buy you. it was her responsibility to take care of
yeah.
all us when she had us, and she did.
So,
So-
I want to add something. This is super important. You said a lot of things, and so thank you for sharing that. And the stuff that happened with the social media and you and everything, it a lot of people had different opinions on it. But one of the good things that came out of it, even though you put it out there, was what we saw happen. How quickly people were to
They
point
took
fingers.
sides. Yeah, they took sides.
Took
right
sides right away without knowing anything, and you were very brave for doing that. Okay, so I want to say that first, and it just shows how we have this mob mentality, and this is really sad right now that I'm
Yeah.
seeing in society where it's just, oh my gosh, what, you did this even though you didn't do it, and boom, everybody's attacking you. I encourage people to be critical thinkers, to be a little bit more intelligent in how they think and how they behave, because again, this is what happens when we don't have correct information, when we just attack people, and this is just an ongoing thing, and it's going to keep continuing. But I hope that people take the time to be a little bit more critical in how they think and how they act, because man, it exposed people. Okay, it exposed everybody, and so now we see, this is what we're working with. This is society we're in. It's sad to me. It's very, very sad to me. And you said something else too that I want to touch on, which is what you're going through is a very, very difficult thing. This is why I say that it's way more difficult for guys. When going through this process, guys they're 4 times likely to commit to delete themselves after these types of things. They say divorce is the top 2 things, the hardest things to ever go through as a human being, and this is true. And so this is why men's spaces are really important. Okay, and this is why the things that you're talking about, these outlets that you're finding, they're really, really important, bro. And I'm here for you, and I think that we need more of these spaces so that people can talk to each other, give good advice, as you mentioned, and so that we can build each other up in a way where it's positive, and we're getting back in the right track, and we're getting away from all these feelings that we're talking about, this pain, this jealousy, all this stuff, so that we're not causing, we're not going to that domestic violent route. We're not, I want people to transition to a place where they're at peace. But the only way to do that is through it. And that's the hardest thing. And so these things that you were talking about, I love it, man. Like going back to the things that you love, going back to combat, all those things, those are great outlets because they bring you back to yourself. And I encourage guys especially to find that outlet, whatever it may be, make sure it's positive, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
This is why they always say working out is so important, because it allows you to get back to this place where you were. It can, but you have to do it. You have to go through it. You have to push through it, and it's lonely. It's very, very lonely.
yeah.
And so, we don't have enough men's spaces. I'm serious when I say this.
True.
I know, and I'm talking about good men's spaces. It's just it's a lot of just stuff, that's not productive. And so I that's why I advocate, and I'm always helping guys. This is how we take action correctly. This is what we can do. Not just let's just talk about our feelings. We're not wired the same way as women, and so there's nothing wrong with talking about it, but then there needs to be action behind it.
Yeah.
And that's what I advocate for. That's what I fight for. And that's what I try to instill in guys so that we're not just complacent and just kind of staying in that pain. Does that make sense?
Yep. Totally agree.
Allah đã cho tôi này cứ ở cái bắt đầu hàng này bây giờ chụp bao one side xưa just hear the story me I say bây giờ là attacking tổ này vậy they don't know both sides tại họ tới mình như thế này and those people they maybe they already been through those things là chỉ bắt đầu mindset cho họ okay I don't like this thing.
Yep, correct.
Nó là they thật bắt nó cái they bắt tôi hại họ là.
Yeah.
Okay, but to hại họ cho cả tại cái họ tụi nó pay cái họ lên nó lại they don't know behind the scene.
Exactly.
Only bắt tăng họ cũng cho các get back họ bắt tăng của họ ít từ chi nó giờ từ pay là từ trong này vậy. They the same thing. Cho họ như nói sáng sẽ như chơi thing họ thì thầu biết chỉ tao bảo thì biết thing ta okay từ chi rồi giờ từ bet. Thế chỉ là biết giờ mỗi you cho họ maybe you cheat ha. Cho họ tại cụ chỉ tao của họ cứ need cụ lonely tâm bảo họ thì cụ chi ha nó vậy thì trong là họ thì cho tôi này cứ chỉ để nói tao sẽ attacking you nó thì just ignore it cụ khai có mấy trăm nhiều tại just ignore it. Those people they don't know what's going on. They're just thinking, okay,
Yep.
you do this, you are a jerk guy.
Yep.
Then they just attack you.
This is the society we live in now. It's
Yeah.
a cancel culture. It's, oh my gosh, I can't wait to attack you. I can't wait to get
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
That's the problem right now, guys. And so, I expect that because it's, social media, this is the times. But man, I expect some smart people to be out there defending.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you know who needs to defend us the most? Women need to. The intelligent
Exactly.
women.
Our sisters.
Yeah, our sisters. Because
sisters.
imagine, right? You have a brother, you have a son, and and somebody says something and that's not true, and then they get attacked. How would you feel? That's your family member, and that happens to be a male. Like, you need to be critical thinkers, and so I always encourage. It's the women that need to step up and say, you know what, you guys are right. That's not okay. You can't just be, we don't have all the evidence. We're just going to attack this person. That's the problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so we need those women to step up and say say something. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We jumped on a tangent, but this is passionate about this because I don't like seeing this. I don't like. There's a lot of guys in these situations, and we
Exactly.
need to advocate for them and fight for them.
A lot of time nó cũng chỉ hata của tôi chỉ nên to là chỉ nên rong lo. Có bu tới gì chỉ cho có bu nó là cho có bu nó là của sang tại mình tính the same thing là của tính nó ha. Cho họ là ra cho view mình nó nhỏ nó để thảo po nói khó nó để po when they talking they don't talking about general talking. Ha chỉ ở đây po tăng có hay hata. Okay thảo của hayอย่างnóเลยนะcủa attackingเขาnóนะ yeah this happened to my son my brothers. No, what happened? We defend the ball, like we attack ตัวอย่าง no. They don't think about that. They're thinking about okay, the guy.
Exactly.
No, they
Yeah.
attack
This is the bomb mentality I'm
yeah,
talking
exactly.
about.
They just do it. Oh man, no, they got you not men attacking. ตัวนึงอย่าแต่พวกyou not both side. Not so many people that attacking ตัวนึง without the conclusion.
Exactly.
Because men, no, they when they talking, no, they both talk. Okay, I gotta put my foot in these shoes on this.
Yeah,
yeah.
To your point, what you're basically saying is, I mean, men tend to be a little bit more, we think about the bigger picture. Not
Exactly,
that women
yeah.
can't. We can-
Open-minded.
Yeah, we're a little bit more open-minded.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's a reason why most pilots happen to be guys.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you.
Exactly, yeah.
Very
Why?
true.
Why is that though? You
Yeah,
know?
that's
It doesn't
true.
mean that we have that women can't. I'm just saying that,
Nhưng mà chả biết mình cứ point talent hay mà ya, this is because not so many. No, it's
yeah, and just let me say it more simply, because women are more emotional.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and that's okay. We're built that way. God
Yeah.
made you that way, and that's
Yeah.
okay, And then we need to be a little bit. We're built to be thinkers,
Oh,
more
yeah.
critical,
Yeah.
And this is, and people will say, "Oh my God, you're sexist." No, it's just biology, guys. It's like you're gonna be mad at me for saying that men tend to be stronger than women. No, that's biology. So I mean, critical thinking, guys. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's very true.
Blong, so and envy gunonena, what advices, okay, if there is younger guys that are going through our stuff, divorce, and what would you guys give your advice to men that are going through similar experience that you and I have, or is going to get divorced? What would you guys say to them? Like starting with envy onde.
Sure, man. Because I've spent so much time with people kind of in this situation and seen so much and researched so much, everybody deals with it differently. But the majority of them, I will say this, is, it's really, really hard on guys, as I mentioned, It's because it's harder for them to kind of pick things back up. And I'll just use an example, right? This is what I mean by that. It's when I say that it's harder for them to pick up, men and women are different, and we have different qualities. Some of those are advantages. So, for example, I walk into a bar, I'll raise my hand and says, "Who wants to have sex tonight?" Nobody's gonna do that. Woman does that, walks to a bar, raises her hand.
Almost everyone.
Who wants? See my point?
Right.
So when people are confused, why I say, "Oh my gosh, it's harder for guys to go through think about it right there."
Yeah.
That's the example.
Yeah.
Okay. Easier for them to get back on the horse and move on. Guys, you got to become.
Yep.
This is a hard truth that it's really, really difficult for guys because you have to reinvent yourself.
Yeah.
You've been together with somebody for a very long time. And so what happens is, you're just like, you're in shambles. Everything, your whole world is, it's over, right? And so now what do? Well, you kind of, if you want to have another girlfriend or wife, then how are you going to do that? You're in a different time now. You're probably rusty. This is the reason why this is how I help guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you can build yourself back up. And that's the hardest part. But the reality is, guys, based on what I've seen and who I've worked with, most guys, it's hard for them to ever get over that hump, get over that mountain. It's hard, man. And this is why I feel like guys need the most help with this when it comes to divorce. So that's my advice is we got to take some action. What is that action though? Okay, well, how are we doing right now? And then what do we need to be doing? And where do we want to go? That's where we start. What is it that you want? I always say that, most guys say, I just want to have another girl. I just want to be with somebody. That's one of them. Or it could change. It could be, hey, I need to get my life back together, because there's just so many things going on. And I don't know what to do. There's like 20 things I'm thinking, like you mentioned, you're going through it right now. So where do you start? Well, being in a situation where you're in a good space with other people who understand you helps. And then, okay, let's take some baby steps. Because it's hard to tell somebody to do something when, they're in that state of mind, that phase is hard, and so I'm really empathetic, but I'm at the same time, we don't get as men, we don't get that luxury. Hey, who wants to? No, it's let's get to work. Yeah. It's let's get to work. And so I have to teach people that concept, like, because everybody's all like, I'm so sad. I'm so,
We see that all the time.
And people want that. Guys want that. They want people to feel sorry for them instead of, dude, I'm going to kick your ass now. We got to get back to work. It's time to work. That's the advice I give people. Okay. But I do it based on where they're at, because everybody's in a different situation. Not everybody is gung-ho and not everybody's ready to change. Yep. Like, most people are in that place of, God, this sucks. This really sucks. I'm really lonely. That's the place where you have to start. You got to start somewhere. So it's different strokes for different folks, and that's my approach. So
love it. Double, your turn. What do you?
Yeah, for my opinion, nó thì cũng tính ta cho youngster nó vậy ta thầu thì mẹ lúc này một chỉ cờ mong hà nó vậy. Em lúc này một chỉ cờ như vậy hà nhà cho mẹ chỉ cho chơi lại nó sẽ vậy. You need to prioritize how you're gonna start again, because if you are rich people and có những everything tăng lại nó thì that's a different story. This year ta có working class, so no. I'm talking about working class. So thì có cho tôi nên là họ xứ nó thì thầu thì có family fall apart rồi nó vậy. Then you have to restart everything again. So you have to know prioritize. How you gonna prioritize your stuff? Ya ta có những nó cũng có bộ máy sinh trâu lại, nó có chơi là hiểm mà trái từ lòng cao, ít từ bộ xứ,แต่是个对 maybe 个都知道么照法来 maybe 同的那样，那是个就鸟啥个都我知道照，那是头个部没新照 ，because 对个都知我好了个部就也都我好了还是那样，个人查来都lòng cao luôn了，因有就咁个照都อย่างไรก็ because you cannot support her นะแต่ก็ maybe ก็ขอ habit ก็เจาะในที่ชีหุเลยคืออีตัวของปู่ยอดทุกคนย่อฮะก็ถามใต้ตัวหลงก่อฮะนั่นเลย so you have to prioritize แต่อย่างที่อันเต้จะ prioritize เขาแต่ยังมั่วเขา prioritize แต่ก็ย่อเรื่องก็ priority ย่อเรื่องย่อแต่สิกู talking about เลยคือกูขอเพี้ยนเนี่ยเนอะอย่ากูโอเคอย่าแต่ก็สั่งเลยกูสั่งฮะนั่นเลยนั่นเจกูขอ priority อันเต้แต่กูมั่วกูจะเอา prioritize luôn แต่อย่าที่กูจะจู่มั่วเข้าหรือกู support 到กู self OK กูจะอยู่知道ว่า到这样了กู主到 self 到这กู要กูจะจู่มั่วเชกูมั่วเข้าหรือ到มั่วกูindependent 到กูมั่วใช้หลงเก่าละสิกูยังจัง到กูเชมั่ว OK แต่กูจะ priority แต่กูยังจู่มั่วเอาไปอย่างโน้นแต่กูมั่วจะอย่างโน้นตั้งเลยมากูมาจากการ look back แล้วกูหาแต่อย่าเท่าเลยใจกูตัว wife หาชินเจ้า maybe กูว่าชีเห็นคลาวป่ะ là của sĩ chỉ giàu à của ấy từ hôm vài xe của nhát chế xe của có bún na nó mua xí là của chỉ mong là wa của có bún xe lên mong của có bún xe chi đàn của ấy ít sẽ xin đâu wa nó vậy so you have to look back on yourself hata what I did wrong ya hata của lên nó là nó bồi giống nó là vậy thì có chắc chắn thì có tao study có to self có learn from có to self what you make mistake ha có mỗi cái tức là first thì là cái chủ trao thì cái priority ha chỉ ổn định thì cái họ của họ cái chủ mỗi priority ổn định cái priority họ bênอย่างcủa họ là cái chỉ mỗi cho họ cái tên cái sao thì họ cái tụi thầy một tháng tụi lần trao là cái bộ cảng cái như chỉ cảngนะcái tụi thầy cho tụi lần trao là họ là sự chế sĩ cho chỉ là nhỏ này của chế giờ vào mình cho là lần trao mình cho ok của hai mấy là
So I like what you said. I only disagree with one thing, and I'll talk about this because we said a lot of good things. But I only say that when we talk about priority, you actually can prioritize those things too. What I mean by is prioritizing speaking, communicating with other women, getting back in the game. You can do it too. You know, I say you can do it all. It's just about how do you organize it.
Yeah, how you organize?
Because I've seen people and mỗi cái muốn thiện nhiên sự but let's bỏ hai luôn. Mỗi cái mu mong can, that she let's bỏ hai luôn.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Mỗi cái can that she bỏ thiện nhiên. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this is why I always try to explain to guys like all of these things are things that you should always want to be pursuing.
Oh, yeah.
And you should be working on all of them.
Yeah.
You don't need to go here and just stay over here for a long time. And then, do you know how many times I've heard that excuses? Oh, I've got to get my money right before I can go talk to girls. It doesn't. No,
Yeah.
You have to touch on everything. You have to work on everything and prioritize those and make it a habit.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, again, it doesn't matter. Like, and I've used these examples before in the last episode, dude. I've Exactly,
yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so this is why it's so important to touch on.
Yeah.
The thing that you also said too, about fixing. Okay, this is really really important. I agree with you. I want to echo what you said. You know, when we don't repair the things that need to be repaired inside of you, your mentality, your mind, how you do things. When you don't repair that, what happens is you make that same mistake again. Like you
exactly.
said. And I love what you said because it's the truth. And the stats actually show this. 70% of second marriages end up in divorce again.
Exactly.
That's the stat.
Exactly.
And the reason why that happens is because you never learned.
Yeah.
You never figured out. Like, oh,
you keep doing the same thing.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So what again, this is easier said than done though, you know, to just because some people just want to be in love again. Some people just want to do it again. They think that this time it's going to work. This time it's going to be better. But again, the numbers already tell us it doesn't because there's something deeper. And this is the stuff. This is why my advice is so hard to swallow because I'm trying to get into that deeper level. What is it, you know, that we have to fix? It's not just the things, superficial things, the surface level. It's the deeper side inside of you.
Oh, yeah.
How you're doing things, how you're seeing the problem is the
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
But people don't know that, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean. And so I'm glad you said that because it's those finding those things that we need to fix. That's the hardest part.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, I love it. I love both of your answers. I can only speak on my experience because it's only so tutsao
Yeah.
experience for everyone. Huh?
Yeah.
They're not getting blasted
Different,
like me.
yeah.
They're not trying to. They don't do MMA. They don't do martial arts. So I can only speak through my experience. But I had to really use my family, mom. You do want a chili all my siblings, the moko black, so I barely can get a hold of them.
you can always get a hold of me, bro.
Okay.
And of course, you envy reaching out to my old family, Blong, Bruce. They always helped just to kind of touch up on how they're doing and everything. But it's not that kutako ne tamuli.
Oh, no.
It's that who
That's no problem.
once in a while. See how you guys are doing. I went back to doing martial arts. I'm starting to go to church. Okay, that's a whole big thing for me. Church, to try something new.
Oh, yeah. That's,
because
that's a good thing.
It's doing the same thing over and over, seeing how it goes, but try to learn for Hmong culture, but not like but I still love the verses. I still
yeah.
love the proverbs and everything. So
Things you have
I'm
to
still learning
yeah
that.
you have to know everything whatever you want to know cái
Yep.
chủ có cái bao rồi you chỉ học cho yourself là
Yep.
sometimes you be able to help other people there
Yep.
and chỉ bao một sometimes cái tôi nhớ được họ place cái chỉ một ít tụ bao dạng họ là thế này so you can help them too.
Exactly.
And
That's why.
I love it.
That's what I've been doing. That's been really keeping me my mind off of all the drama that's been going on.
Oh yeah.
And then I've been listening to Evie Pamporis because I bought a program from her and the kujam lona halua and the care about new agent and so I'm listening to her and so I'm doing things that are educating me as well. That's keeping my mind off of the bullshit that's going on. So that's what I'm doing.
And that is a perfect example of what I mean when I'm saying after these type of things, this is you stay busy, but you stay busy towards the things that that help you grow.
Oh yeah.
And you take and even it doesn't sometimes it doesn't really matter what it is because you take all the good from where it is, right? Even though you're going to church, you're taking what's good there, you know. You're doing MMA again because you like doing it. It's doing the things that you fell in love with, and it's gonna make you a whole person and just kind of fall in love back with yourself. What happens when you fall back in love with yourself and what you do? Now people start loving you more. This is what I always say, you know. I get a lot of shit from people, and just, you know, they always say, dude, you're so this, they're still that you're so this and that, you know, you're so cocky and stuff. No, I love myself. And they get confused, you know, that the confidence comes from doing things, you know, and it's like, you know, it's okay. It doesn't bother me. It's because the results speak for themselves, you know, and so that's what I want people to understand. And I want people to kind of fall back in love, especially guys. You got to fall back in love with yourself. But how do we do that? It's these little steps, you know, just that you just described, you know, little things like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen overnight.
No.
But little things, you know.
Yeah, I think things that you get back to có cho habit cũ, I think that's pretty good. Họ cái gì họ cái có họ cái họ ít cái ở đó có you nó căng you chú cái nhớ sáng à, rồi cái you release you cho cái nhớ sáng you sẽ you just cho cái mua sáng lu start lo you lu life tại lấy chẳng. So I think that's pretty good. Everyone must do that when có mua ý dạng là chỉ cái nhớ sáng chú đó you have to do that. You have to go to you have to that thing be able to help come to the good sake. So you have to do that to helping you to avoid the thing that you're gonna think bad thing to yourself.
Yeah.
So I think that's a pretty good thing that you get back to your training, get back to your families, all these things. Some family they probably think for how thầu có một tí mình là nó they bố có thẳng. Some family member they bố chỉ chẳng. Sang get involved với tế mình là tế she it's okay. Sooner or later they will rely back at that okay yeah. So they will understand that by themselves and cú sáng có là sao nhớ xa. This is the best advice cho you ha cho nên lưu you chăng để your parents. You nãy you chỉ sư. You lưu you cho mình nhớ lại chăng để you nãy you chỉ lưu you trong có hòn ta. Để ya cho chỉ tâm một mình tụi mình nhớ mà có hà sẽ có chỉ understand. Bởi vì tình tại cũng này có chỉ lưu cũ tới khi cho một mình tụi mình nhớ để the same thing. But tăng cũng sẽ là ta but some of stereotypes that you have kids you be a loser your kids are the winner because thằng đấy có khó hộp có cho everything thì có tụi mò ta có tụi sáng ta là có cho mình luôn luôn có bộ nên rong thế này vậy họ có tụi chỉ tinh có sao ta ô cũng mà mình nhớ tới chỉ quý nên rong này vậy có tụi chỉ tinh là họ đấy that's why rong có họ go cho lên mà chụp có chung này vậy that's how they have you cảm feedback they you chú rong có chìm chỗ có mom có dad có mom có just siblings that's pretty good.
Yeah, and I love you said that. There's people that love you, and there's people that care for you, and you just remember that, you know, because it's hard. It is lonely along the way, but keep that in your heart. Keep that, you know, in everything you do, and here's the funny thing, guys. Here's the funny thing, right? All of a sudden, you become this brand new person through action, through things, and you actually might even like them more. And people might even like you more. You know, and that's the thing that we you know, because that's the finish line we're talking about, right? That's like the end goal, and it's hard to see it because you're in the thick of it, right? And so, you know, I think that's really important to try to stay on task.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. So, is there any? Because some Hmong here, check what you saw whole day, huh? But more. Any last words you guys want to give the audience out there?
I have a
Blong?
question. I do.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Again,
Ask it, yeah.
this is a good question. I think that people want to hear. There's people. There might be a couple that's watching.
There's some Kleenex right there.
There might be people in relationships watching, and they're like, "Why would I want to watch an episode about divorce?" Well, I have something to say about that. But what do you think about that? Why would they need to hear this discussion?
Okay. Why they need to hear this thing? Cho họ cho think nó tại right now cho think nó cho problem của bên một number one in our Hmong family. This thing, other thing else, they pay more, they make them down. Yeah, like good thing, you have to pay more number how pay more, they make the young. That's cho họ bắt cho tất cả cho divorce thing, cho cho big community nó, big Hmong community, the thông cái đóคือnó này ạ. Before, ya choเราตัวมาชิมว่าtrongที่ตัดสินใจจะnói number one problem ya cho big Hmong là. So I think even you don't want to listen it, I think it's better for you to listen it. And like chỉ hành động bé hà sĩ bé yên hải cho chỉ giờ chỉ trâu được có tụi khen có tát tận nào. Thế thì bé hải cho yên hà cho cái trâu được có ha có tụi khen sẽ chỉ ô lên đó là có những mấy cho phong dư, ít cho cousin, ít cho cứ ti, ít cho nên trang cứ ô lên đó. Chỉ cần nào ấy thì thầu có họ mua lại thì có họ tính lại thì họ good advice mỗi chỗ bố chúng có thằng chỉ số là cái là chúng có thằng số là có sẽ lấy bao nhiêu advice tao cho bố có sẽ lấy baoแต่ hey thầu của tôi nó bố thằng này nó hạn chếแต่是nó của chỉ bao hạt tại của store lấy chẳng tới chỉ của tôi nó bố thằng này nó không nói chế không nói không good store only nó so that's a good thing that họ tao thì hay trâu cái có tụi khen là tôi này chỉ có some things come up unexpected cái gì expect that okay, trâu yếu, tức là maybe trâu lại thì tụi lâu lại cũng này cũng chỉ po, sao gì trâu xong lại là bớt chuyện xin trâu tao, okay, thì cho nó là gì mua thì dù rồi lại bên nó sẽ là bên chỉ bao ha, dù mà dù sáng thì dù giống, tức là maybe dù có bút tức sáng thì hay ai nó chỉ giống nó cũ này vậy, dù thì chỉ bao này, dù có bút tức sáng thì dù có bút mà dù giống nó tức là dù tức sáng thì hay bị cái con này cũ yếu thì này giàu cũ chỉ có bút nó hay này vậy, so that's how a lot of things going on at this time, tức là nó bên world that's not crazy hey now so cú sáng ta giờ ta có listen cho bé cho thằng nó này vậy cái nông cái tôi chỉ lưu sáng chi nè ông đi tên cái quen xí nè ông đi tên cái quen giờ tôi cú cái quen nó cho adding idea cho có adding cho good idea cho có adding cho bad idea cho có hay ta bé thằng tôi giảm bad cái ta hey giờ cú thằng different from them nó này vậy thì giờ bố thằng này nói tới xíu ông cho họ nói chỉ giờ thì cũng thằng different from bố còn này then that's a good thing for you to learn too cái tôi learn tao họ biết thằng chỉ giờ thì có create cái họ có giờ rồi thì đúng good lại giờ biết thằng họ có tại giờ nó là cái tôi learn họ thì cũng chỉ tao tính là tới gì giờ bố họ tính trong là họ thì there's a lot of thing you win.
Yeah. Why do you think that people should listen to this episode if they're just in a relationship? Sure. Like why would they care?
It's exactly like what you said, Blong. Right now, but the bit more cheat on you all right, but the bit more go to divorce. That bitch both all. We see marriage as something so big and something happy, but hope it or divorce, it's all be discreet. It's all behind closed doors. You want the both on don't you also what? It's always like that. Yeah. So that's why you think that marriage is big. No, it's not. It's actually divorce. People make millions off of divorce.
I call it the machine. It's a marriage and divorce is one of the biggest money making machines right now, and government loves it. They love it because like they have to be a part of it. They get something out of it too. So yeah, and so that's why. Anything else you want to add on to that?
I can't really think of anything.
Okay, I got a lot to say.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
And so the reason why I think that everybody should watch this episode is because, again, we have a 56% divorce rate. This is big. Would you ever want to jump out of a parachute and it said if you have 56% rate of the parachute opening?
Yeah.
Right? So that's to say nobody is safe. It doesn't matter if you're in a relationship or not, if you're married. Nobody is safe. We know this because we see it all the time. Celebrities, marriage, divorces all the time.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who you are. It affects everybody. This is why this is such an important topic that nobody really touches on, and I'm glad we're actually, kind of discussing some of these things, especially in our culture, how we're doing things, how our culture approaches it. I think it's actually, based on what you shared, brother, it sounds, you're very logical to me. It makes a lot of sense, and I think that with what you said, people should seek counsel within the clan, somebody there. that can help mediate. That's a good start. You
Oh,
know,
yeah.
before thinking about couples therapy, because couples therapy is expensive, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I think that's why this is an important conversation, you know, because there's a big stigma behind it too.
yeah.
People are try bongjimona,
Yeah.
a lot of shame involved with this, you know, and so being able to talk about it kind of helps you do two things and navigate better. Okay, now we're aware of things. How do we navigate? How do we move so that doesn't happen to us? And then, you know, maybe we should think about if you're having some problems, how can we fix it if it's small? Like you mentioned, there's different levels, small,
yeah,
big,
definitely.
medium,
Yep.
you know, you can assess where you're at. Okay, is our problems big or are they small right now? How can we fix it so it doesn't get there? I'll give you one piece of advice. This is documented by a lawyer. He talks about this all the time. He says, if you recognize this particular thing in your, fix it now, or it's going to eventually engulf you and you're going to end up divorced. And it's called, he just simply said, disagreeableness. How disagreeable are you guys? You know, is it, you know, when you say, hey, you know, help me wash the dishes, or let's go in this. And this person's always like, nope, nope, I don't want to. Nope, I don't want to. That's disagreeableness.
Yeah.
Seeing those type of things, those are the signs, okay? Pay attention to those signs. Is that happening? And if that's happening, why is it happening? You got to start thinking about that. How do we fix that disagreeableness, right? And that's something you should look for too when you're dating. When you're dating, if you don't eat the way that you say, well, actually, what's the point? Exactly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's that plus it's the same thing happens in a relationship, you know? Oh, 被我包你昨天點被我包我困擾 you know, those type of things.
yeah.
See, when you start seeing the little small things, you can attack it before it gets to this. It's already over.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Usually, and this is the reality of it too, and I hate saying this, but usually when you get to that point where you're 晒住鬥 as they say in Hmong, 晒住鬥, you can't even stand you know? It's already too late. And why would you want to repair that? And that's what I always try to tell guys too, because guys are always trying to fix it, hold it, you know. And I'm like, dude, you don't have to do that no more. It's already over. You know, pick up your losses and move. You know, it's already done. You know, you know, like what you know. And the same thing can happen. You know.
Exactly, yeah.
But like you said, we're kind of more likely to fix it.
Yes, I cause. A lot of things.
You know,
I cause.
but
Yeah.
this is why I said last time in the last podcast,
Yeah.
men and women love differently. You know, we don't love the same way.
Yeah.
They cheat with their heart. For
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so that's the
different
thing.
thing, yeah.
A guy can go and do that. And I'm not advocating this. I don't like that. I don't think it's a good. I'm just saying that that's the reality of it. That's
Yeah.
the biology of us. That's how we're made up. So that's why this discussion is really important. That's why we should pay attention to it. This is why, you know, I want people to start thinking about it. And, you know, there's a lot of stigma around it. So the more we talk about it, the more we can deal with it.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. So
So,
thank you guys. Thank you so much, Blong. I'm not gonna hold up any more of your time, but I truly
you're welcome.
appreciate you and Envy. Thank you guys so much for coming today.
For sure, brother.
it's a pleasure.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, and all the viewers out there, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining us on Hmong Podcast, and we will see you guys on the next episode. Take care.